Well, hello, women of the Channel Leadership Network. My name is Jackie Rives, your community leader. Welcome to this week's WOW session, Woman of the Week. Joining me today is Shawn Trotter, Vice President, Dell Technologies Inside Center of Sales Excellence. Hi, Shawn. Thank you for being here with us today.
Good morning, Jackie.
So let's let our listeners get to know you a little bit better. So if you don't mind, where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
It is different. I live in Round Rock, Texas, Dell Technologies headquarters. Been here just over 30 years. I'm married to my husband and we settled here to work for Dell. I love living in Central Texas, but I was actually born in Ohio. And when I was 5, moved to Louisiana and spent all of my time there until I graduated high school. And then I came here to go to school.
Very cool. I've been to Texas, but not familiar with where you are, San Antonio.
Let me say it differently. Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Right outside of Austin.
Definitely know where that is.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. What is a little known fact about you?
Well, I'm a perpetual learner. So I've done a number of different schools throughout my life, one of which was naturopathic medicine. My mom got cancer in 2010, and I pursued that degree so that I could learn how to support her immune system while she was going through cancer therapy. And as she did that, it was a long battle, but she's healthy now. And we wrote a couple of children's books, one called Queens Don't Toot and one called Kings Don't Spit. So it was a fun project while she was healing and recovering.
That is so amazing. That's something so special between the two of you. I love that. I'm gonna have to check out the books. All right. Let's talk about maybe some experiences or transformational moments in your life.
Yeah, so the biggest transformational moment in my life outside of weddings and birth of children and all of those things in my work life happened in August of 2017. Our son Drake was walking his sister on the beach at midnight on a family vacation and came off the beach and dove into a 4-foot pool that he thought was deep enough to rinse off. And very, very long recovery miracle story. 60 days in and out of ICUs from Florida to Texas, required an angel flight in the middle to get him home. He shouldn't have walked. He shouldn't have survived the accident. And then he certainly should not have walked out of the hospital. He broke his neck in 3 places. Most people do not ever get out of a wheelchair. That is best case scenario. And he is 100% recovered. Our Dell Technologies family, all 3 of us actually work here. We're almost all Dell family. That's another fun fact. Just rallied around us in a way that is, I just can't even describe through his recovery. And it is really the foundation of my gratitude practice, which has been life-changing for me. When you're faced with a moment where you're looking at your child on a ventilator and not knowing what the future brings, it forces you to really reflect on whether you were present and intentional at even the dinner right before, and then, life kind of replays through your eyes and you ask yourself, did I do all the right things? Was I the right kind of parent? And when we were given the incredible gift to get him back and get him back healthy, we vowed that we would, as a family, not only give back to people who did not have that opportunity, but really foundationally be grateful for every single thing we have, which is, even if you have a bad day at work, it's better than the best day in an ICU. And so really regrounding in that gratitude was important. And I try to start off all my meetings with a gratitude practice. We take a moment to send gratitude to someone that people are grateful for, to make sure they understand how much their impact is on folks. So for me, that pivotal moment reminded me every single day that I need to be present and intentional, whether that's at work for the people that I support and lead, or whether it's at home or in my community.
That is such an amazing story. As a mom myself, I can't even fathom what that was like for you. Clearly it has shown to prove your strength, the resilience of your family and the community surrounding you, as you said. And I love that you are just incorporating that into your daily life. Even the smallest things, like they say, you know, the smallest impacts that people have, like they don't even think about it, but the people who are receiving it, it's like, it's everything to them.
One thing I've noticed when we express gratitude, when we send off a gratitude text or an email, I prefer a phone call, but since we're on a meeting, I allow them to do text and email. I think the surprise factor for me is how good you feel when you get a response back that says you made somebody's day. You're trying to express gratitude to them, and what they send back just is so fulfilling. So it's definitely worth it for sure.
Perfect. Oh gosh, I've got the chills with this. This is amazing. What are some patterns you've noticed over the years about women at work and things that they could be doing better to advance their careers?
I would say take risks is probably the best advice I can get. And my personal mentor in the company once said, you know, women tend to wait until they have all the boxes checked before they go apply for the job they think they deserve or are ready for. And men typically will check 2 or 3 of the 10 boxes, say, I got this, run off and go apply for the job, get it, and then just wing it. And we're capable of winging it. I was capable, much more capable than I thought I was at every single stage of my career. And I waited to take chances a lot of times. And if I had it to do over again, I would definitely tell my younger self, go run after it. You're going to figure it out one way or the other once you get there. So if someone doesn't think they have enough boxes checked, I would say sit down with your mentor and say, here's what I don't think I'm ready for, and let that mentor tell you you're ready, and then just go do it, or get ready and then go do it.
That's an advice that I know will resonate with a lot of our listeners. I couldn't agree with you more. And I definitely was in the same shoes many times in my career. Okay. What do you do to protect or create that work-life balance?
Well, thankfully, I work in a company that is very, very concerned about mental health, provides a lot of opportunity for wellness. It's a privilege to work here for many reasons, but that is one of them. When I mentioned, you know, replaying those mom moments in my mind, did I miss anything? You know, was I present at the right football game, or did I go to that meeting instead? Thankfully, my entire career, even before it was cool to work from home, and we had all the things to work from home, because I've been working a really long time before we could do those things. We had a desktop when I started at Dell. You couldn't take your work home. I was able to go to every, you know, the son mother donut day and leave early for the baseball games. I've always had leaders that supported me in doing that. And so this company definitely leadership across the board. That's not something we say, it's who we really are. So people feel very supported in the flexibility that they have to work whenever they need to work, but be present for their family. So that's number one. Number two, for me, if I don't have self-care, I am not the best version of myself for my family or work. It took me way too long to figure that out, and way too long to prioritize it. I know that people who get joy from giving to others, or leading others, or serving others, often serve others at the expense of stopping and taking care of serving themselves. And then you don't do a really good job of doing that either. And so for me, that's prayer and meditation every morning. My faith is what really is central to everything that I do, and really what got me through the situation with Drake that I mentioned. So I have to start that day grounded in my faith with that quiet time. I have to work out at some point during the day, and that requires an hour of a pretty aggressive workout, or else my mental state isn't well. So I find time to do that. It might be at 5 a.m. one day, but depending on the schedule, maybe at 10 p.m. the next day, or it may be in the middle of the day at 10 or 11 at lunch, right? I have to get that in. And so I think identifying the things that are really, really important to you that make you feel better, are that you've got to figure out what that is for you, because I know it's different for every single other person. And then you got to make time to schedule it in for yourself. And then I would say unused vacation is not a badge of honor. Take your vacation, even if you're not going somewhere. And when you take vacation, take vacation. I mean, I say all the time, if I get run over by a bus tomorrow, Dell Technologies is going to run. They're going to continue to operate, and maybe some people will miss me because of the impact I had on them, but the company is going to run, which means you should be able to take advantage of working in the companies that you work for and take time out for yourself and your family so that you can recharge and be a better version of yourself at work when you come back.
You're speaking my language. On the working out, like I figured that out probably into my 40s, like, oh, this actually makes me a better person when I take time for myself. And I love that you're vocal about your faith as well, and meditation and prayer.
Well, and I'm able to do that at Dell Technologies also. So I co-founded our Interfaith Employee Resource Group. We have 13 employee resource groups across the company, 470 chapters, I believe, in 76 countries. So we have an employee resource group for everyone. And when I say diversity is not what we say, it is who we are. I mean that. There is an employee resource group for everyone, and we are able to bring our authentic selves to work. And so I co-founded the Interfaith ERG with a lady named Glenda Cameron several years ago. And we represent all faiths, or we're welcome to people with no faith. But it is an opportunity for us to have prayer meetings at work, to celebrate holidays across all the different faiths. It is just an amazing opportunity to be able to do that in the workplace and not feel like you have to check it at the door, because faith is central to who many people are, or no faith is central to who they are. And that's great too. But the biggest, I think, aha moment for me in these ERGs is, I grew up a Christian. I have been very open to other faiths, but very ignorant of other faiths because I just grew up in my own silo. And so leading this employee resource group with the Buddhist faith, the Hindu faith, the Muslim faith, and the Jewish faith, and I attend every one of their events. And I think one of the surprise moments for me there is an opportunity to learn about how much more similar we are than different, and how many more things we align on. Ultimately, most people attend those events outside their faith to either learn about it because they have a family member that's moved to a different faith, or an employee team member that they want to learn how to support during, a Muslim employee during Ramadan and what they go through. And so that learning about others just makes us so much of a better person. So I'm actually a member of all 13 of the ERGs. I would be lying if I said I attended every event, because that would be a full-time job. But I attend events from each one of those just as an opportunity to learn about others. And that has been a real gift here.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think we have time for one more question. And I want to ask, where do you look for inspiration or mentorship?
Yeah, so mentorship, I attended a seminar for women actually about 7 years ago at one of our conferences. And this was probably the best mentor advice I had gotten. Previous to that seminar, I had a couple of mentors, and I went to them for everything, which was great. And you want those mentors in your life. But this paradigm really shifted for me. And their suggestion was to have mentors that serve different functions in your life. So specifically mapping out who is the cheerleader in your life that you can go to when you need, or in work, so work or personal, doesn't matter, that you can go to when you just need a pep talk. Who is the business sponsor you have that understands your capabilities, that can sponsor you for opportunities as they come up? By the way, you want to have more than one of those, because sometimes those people leave the company and you have to start all over if you only have one. So I recommend you're deeper than one in all of these categories. You want a truth teller. That's probably my favorite, and probably the person who has really impacted my career the most. The person that's willing to say, that wasn't good behavior in the meeting. You could have said this differently. You came across as emotional. The person that can really hit you right there and say, you need to get better. You need those people in your life, but you have to ask for them because people don't like to give you that feedback, generally. You want somebody that's a financial acumen wizard, that if you need business or financial advice, or you don't understand how P&Ls operate, or things that you're afraid to ask, you want that function in your life. And so really mapping out how each of those folks can support you and knowing who to go to for what, versus just having one person serve all functions.
Shawn, it has been an honor to get to spend time with you today. This interview is going to be a blessing to so many. I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Well, and I can't thank you enough for having me, Jackie.
Yeah, I'm not blowing smoke. Like, this is a very true, authentic conversation. And I have to say, the people, like the other, females, males, anyone that's getting to engage with you on a daily basis, they really do have a gift. You're coming across as someone who's very, has that servant heart to help others, and is authentic and will give you that advice.
I work in an amazing company full of really smart, really talented, really driven people. I mean, every single turn, there are amazing people, and I learn from them every single day. I've had wonderful mentors in my life. I have a great family. I have a lot of people that support me. So I'm super blessed to be in the job I'm in the best company that I could possibly be in. And it's an honor to be here. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you again to this amazing community. I hope you enjoyed listening to Shawn today. Please continue the conversation and comment and give Shawn a little, appreciation for giving us some of her time today. With that, thank you again, and happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.